What up, y'all? This is your boy, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo, and you're listening to the Entertainment Report for Thursday, April 9th, 2015, delivering some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook or on Twitter, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo, that's RAYMELO, or on Twitter at The Enter Report. You can listen to the show anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just search for The Entertainment Report, and they'll take you to our page. Avengers Age of Ultron has a very good shot at topping the record $207.4 million opening of Disney and Marvel's blockbuster original when it debuts on May 1st. That would be an explosive opening for the 2015 summer movie season. And initial tracking numbers that came online Thursday had Age of Ultron at between $190 million to $200 million. It is the first in a string of blockbuster sequels, including the new Mission Impossible, Jurassic Park, and Terminator movies that are expected to drive a record summer and ultimately the biggest box office year ever. These are no guarantees because pre-release tracking, largely based on test screenings and surveyings, tends to get less accurate as the number increase. But online ticketing service Fandango reports that advanced ticket sales are through the roof and that the movie is far outselling the first Avengers at the same point in the sales cycle. Tracking has been off significantly on several big films this year, including American Sniper, 50 Shades of Grey, and Furious 7. The good news for Disney is that in each of those cases, the openings exceed the tracking. Regardless of how high it goes, there's little argument that Avengers Age of Ultron will become Marvel's 11th consecutive film to debut at number 1. The other studios have cleared out, and it will be the only wide release of the first weekend of Hollywood's summer season. Josh Whedon returns as writer and director for Age of Ultron, as does the ensemble cast, topped by Robert Downey Jr., who plays Iron Man, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk, Chris Evans as Captain America, Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, and Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye. Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen joined the cast as Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch. Don Cheadle, James Spader, and Samuel Jackson co-star in Age of Ultron, in which Earth's mightiest heroes take on the eponymous Tony Stark AL program gone rogue. Jon Stewart chimed in on the Rolling Stone campus rape story debacle Wednesday, expressing how dumbfounded he is that nobody involved in the erroneous report would be fired. Responding to reports that everyone involved would keep their jobs, Stewart grew agitated. Fine, if no one has the guts to do it, I'll fire them. I'll make a citizen's firing. How can there be no consequences for an error of this magnitude? The Daily Show host is shocked that publisher John Weiner found the scathing report about the botched story to be enough punishment. Stewart continued, "You managed to Where's Waldo, the only rape story that not only would fail to get your point across, but sell the cause back." He concluded with giving the magazine 3.5 stars for the magazine. On Sunday, Columbia School of Journalism published its 12,866-word story on the magazine's report, listing a harrowing series of mistakes, oversights, and bias produced by reporter Sabrina Rubin Elderly, editor Sean Woods, and manager-editor Will Dana. As the rep reported, experts are mixed on the long-term ramifications for the magazine, as some think the story debacle will leave a permanent black eye, while others think in a year or two it will be a distant memory. When the trailer for Unfriended, the upcoming teen horror movie about cyberbullying, came out earlier this year, it generated a whopping 261,941 Twitter comments in its first day. That's more than the blockbuster to be Avengers, The Age of Ultron, Furious 7, and Jurassic World drew, so it naturally raised some eyebrows. Unfriended isn't going to hit the $200 million mark when Universal opens in its wide release on April 17th, and it probably won't be turned into a franchise either, but it should open to somewhere between $15 million and $20 million if the traditional tracking numbers are correct. That means its oversized social media profile will have translated, and it will be a moneymaker given its micro budget. Unfriended is a hot topic online because that's where it's set and what the plot is about. In the film written by Nelson Greaves and directed by Levan Gabriadazzi, a teen girl and her friends are targeted for vengeance after a shaming video leads to the death of a vicious cyberbully named Laura Barnes. The horror film speaks in the language of the millennial generation that it targets Twitter, Facebook, Skype, Instagram, and Spotify, and that has made it very relatable. There's also a voyeuristic element since the action largely plays out on computer screens. Heather Sosaman, who plays the cyberbully Laura, said it might sound a little gimmicky, but we didn't take subject matter lightly. If you read the reviews, a lot of them point out that it wasn't what they expected. It just doesn't present the issues from a horror perspective. We try to make it realistic and prove an insight into the characters' minds and inspire people to think. The combination of timely topics such as cyberbullying and teen suicide, along with the film's use of social media as both medium and message, have created a mountain of momentum online for Unfriended. But making a social media splash doesn't always mean it will be a box office winner. While The Purge and The Fault in Our Stars turned online buzz into breakout success, it didn't help the teen targeting Vampire Academy or Mortal Instrument City of Bones. The most recent movie to over-index online was The Duff, a high school comedy that did better than expected for CBS Films after mobilizing teen girls with a sharply focused social media push. Being a horror film gives Unfriended a boost since it will lure guys too, and there hasn't been a scary movie in the marketplace since February. On the eve of Netflix kicking off its Marvel franchise, ABC has another superhero trick up its sleeve. The network is teaming with Marvel to develop an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. spinoff, The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed. As first reported by Entertainment Weekly, the potential spinoff hails from S.H.I.E.L.D.'s executive producer Jeffrey Bell and series writer Paul Zbyszewski. The concept remains under wraps, but it is not expected to be a backdoor pilot and air as a standalone episode of the flagship series, the way series including Criminal Minds and Chicago 5 have done this season with their respective spin-off plans. Despite not having a planted episode this season, the concept for the S.H.I.E.L.D. spin-off should become clear based on pilot elements to come in the back half of its sophomore season. The potential spin-off could be for either fall or mid-season, and like S.H.I.E.L.D.'s third season renewal, depends on how the rest of ABC pilots turn out. In a related story, Netflix is turning to a crop of rising stars for its upcoming Baz Luhrmann Hip-Hop drama, The Get Down. Dope breakout Shameik Moore, Paper Town's Justice Smith, the inevitable defeat of Mr. and Pete's Skyland Brooks, and newcomer Tremaine Brown Jr. will star in the period drama from Luhrmann and Sean Ryan, The Hollywood Reporter has learned. The Get Down focuses on 1970 New York, broken down and beat up, violent, cash-stripped, dying. Concede to a ragtag crew of South Bronx teenagers are nothing and nobodies with no one to shelter them except each other, armed with verbal games, improvised dance steps, some magic markers, and spray cans. From Bronx tenements to the Soho art scene, from CBGB's to Studio 54, and even the glass towers of the just-built World Trade Center, The Get Down is a mythic saga of how New York, at the brink of bankruptcy, gave birth to hip-hop, punk, and disco, told through the lives and music of the South Bronx kids who changed the city and the world forever. Brown will play Boo Boo, a mechanically minded kid who is an irrepressible 40-year-old in a 14-year-old's body. Bronx resident Brown, 14, is an inspiring rapper and dancer who hones his craft by performing in the New York subways when he discovers by the Get Down's casting team. Smith is set to play Ezekiel, a smart, resourceful teen brimming with an untapped talent and unrequired love who is determined to make his mark in this world. From Anaheim, California, Justice stars in John Green's adaptation Paper Towns, due in June from Fox 2000. He's repped by Clear Talent Group, Cold Group, and Stone Mayer. Moore, who stars in Sundance's hit Dope, is playing Shaolin Fantastic, a child of the streets, thrill-seeking, unpredictable, eccentric, but above all, enigmatic. The 19-year-old actor born and raised in Atlanta earned rave reviews for his breakout role in Dope. Brooks, meanwhile, is set as Rara, a loyal, respected, protective friend and brother with his head screwed on tight. He's the voice of reason beyond his years. The 16-year-old LA native earned nominations for the Acapulco Black Film Festival and Black Reel Awards for his role in Defeat. He will next be seen opposite Jake Gyllenhaal and Rachel McAdams in Antoine Fuqua's Southpaw. Luhrmann said the characters these young actors play in The Get Down unwillingly become a band of brothers. Any great group is always made of distinctive different characters, and the actors we are privileged enough to invite into the roles of Ezekiel, Shaolin, Fantastic, Boo Boo, and Rara have the distinction of being from such diverse backgrounds, performing in subways in the Bronx, to the music scene of Atlanta, and of course, Los Angeles. I know they've collectively on the beginning of a thrilling journey with the big story to tell. Kathy Bates is returning to American Horror Story. Showrunner Ryan Murphy confirmed news that the actress will be back on the FX anthology 5th season, American Horror Story Hotel. Murphy announced Kathy Bates is running the hotel, #AHS Season 5, starring Lady Gaga, Mac Bomber, Chloe Sevigny, Wes Bentley, and Cheyenne Jackson. American Horror Story Hotel will be the first season of the series for Murphy and Brad Falchuk, without leading lady Jessica Lange. Bates' return, which has been rumored for months, will mark her 3rd season with the series after her co-starring roles in Coven and Freak Show. Bates won an Emmy for her role in Coven. American Horror Story mainstay Evan Peters, meanwhile, noted at PallyFest that he wasn't sure if he'd be back for Hotel, but seemed open to return for another run. On Thursday, a court in the Polish city of Krakow adjourned until May 22nd on a hearing deciding whether to extradite Roman Polanski to the U.S. to face sentencing for raping a 13-year-old girl in 1977. The 81-year-old French-born director, who holds dual French-Polish citizenship, has been a fugitive from U.S. justice for nearly 40 years after fleeing the country, fearing a judge would renege on a plea bargain deal. Polish Judge Dariusz Mazur, sitting in a regional court of the southern city of Krakow, where Polanski grew up after his family moved back to Poland just before the outbreak of World War II, says he wanted U.S. authorities to provide more documents to back up their extradition request. Missouri will also ask a Swiss court, which rejected an extradition claim on the same charge against Polanski in 2010, for access to papers from that case. Polanski was not in court Thursday. Previously, his lawyers have said that they would seek fuller documentation from the U.S. side. The director, who won an Oscar in 2003 for his film Pianist, about a Jewish musician living in hiding during the war, is currently prepping a film in the city based on the Dreyfus case about an early 20th century French military officer and Jew who was falsely accused of espionage. He has asked Polish authorities for assurance that he would not be extradited if he shoots the film in Poland. The View could use some more viewers. CBS's The Talk topped the ABC Gabfest in both total viewers and among women 18 through 49 for the second time in 4 weeks, according to Nielsen's Live Plus same-day ratings for the week ending on April 3rd. The two talkers matched each other in ratings for the key women 25 to 54 demographic. The Talk brought in 2.55 million viewers last week versus The View's $2.4 million, or a 2% advantage. With women 18 to 49, The Talk was 1/10 of a ratings point ahead of its competition, with a 0.7 to a 0.6 percentage-wise. That works out to an 17% difference. Both shows have the same share. The slightly victory marks The Talk's 4th win in total viewers and 2nd in women's 18 to 49. Last year, The View's bestelled its CBS competition every week in both measures. The tie among women 25 to 54 was the 3rd in 4 weeks for that demo. CBS announced Thursday that it has renewed Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune through the 2017-2018 season. Television's two top game shows each average more than 10 million viewers daily. The new deal will take Wheel of Fortune through its 35th season and Jeopardy through its 34th season. Jeopardy's host Alex Trebek and Wheel's talent Pat Sajak and Vanna White have renewed their deals through the 2017 to 2018 season as well. Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy are two of syndication's most successful series. Wheel has been the #1 rated syndicated game show since its inception. The series has earned 7 Emmy Awards, including the 2011 Emmy for Outstanding Game Audience Participation Show. Hosted by Alex Trebek, Jeopardy is the #2 game show in syndication. It holds the Guinness World Records for title for the most Emmy Awards won by a TV game show, 31, including the 2014 Emmy for Outstanding Game Show. Both shows are produced by Sony Picture Television and executive produced by Harry Friedman. They are distributed domestically by CBS Television Distribution and internationally by CBS Studios International. After 3 seasons' absence in a failed talk show and marriage, Real Housewives of New York star Bethenny Frankel returns to the show. She sat down with Ellen DeGeneres to talk about the Bravo reality series that made her famous. Frankel said on the Thursday, April 9th episode of the Ellen DeGeneres show, "I feel like the whole franchise, some people who come on as new housewives have a preconceived notion of how they are supposed to act. And I was never like that on the show, and I don't think that the show is like that this season." Frankel started on the show from 2008 to 2010 before departing to pursue other projects. She rejoined the cast for the 7th season. DeGeneres asked if Frankel kept in touch with her co-stars. Frankel said, "Not totally, but a little bit. Like when I had the show, they would come on, and that was a great bridge, the talk show. So thank you for that, because it was a great bridge. They didn't totally hate me for not having spoken to them." Frankel also dispensed advice from her newest book, I Suck at Relationships, So You Don't Have to, 10 Rules for Not Screwing Up Your Happily Ever After. In the book, Frankel says men and women just don't get each other. Frankel said, "I don't think women and men necessarily understand each other. Women are much crazier than men would ever imagine, and men are much more stupider than women could possibly imagine." The Weinstein Company and Miramax are developing a remake of She's All That, the hit teen comedy that saw Freddie Prinze Jr. and Paul Walker vying for the affection of Rachel Lee Cook. Multiple individuals familiar with the project told the Wrap. Kenny Leon will direct the remake, which Spike Lee's wife, Tanya Lewis-Lee, will produce under her Tonic production banner. Miramax will also produce a remake, having released the original 1999 movie, which grossed more than $100 million worldwide. Weinstein Co. Company executive Julie Rappaport will oversee the project on behalf of the studios. Representatives for the Weinstein Company did not immediately respond to multiple requests for comment, while a representative for Miramax denied there's a deal in place at that time. She's All That follows a high school jock played by Prince who makes a bet that he can turn a shy art student into his high school prom queen. The remake will follow a similar premise and is expected to be developed with diverse leads in mind. The original supporting cast included Kevin Pollak, Matthew Lillard, Anna Paquin, Jodie Lynn O'Keefe, Usher Raymond, Little Kim, Gabrielle Union, Dual Hill, Kieran Cullen, Eldon Henson, Clea Duvall, Tim Matheson, and Alexis Arquette. With its theme of physical transformation, it should become as no surprise that She's All That was based on My Fair Lady, and thus Pygmalion. The discussion surrounding a hypothetical black James Bond continues as the first African American to play a major villain in the franchise has publicly declared it is a bad idea. Actor Yaphet Kotto, who played Dr. Kanenga, Mr. Big, in 1973's Live and Let Die, told The Big Issue he cannot be black. Political correctness be damned. James Bond was established by Ian Fleming as a white character played by white actors. Play 003 or 006, but you cannot be 007, Kotto continued. A lot of people say we should be allowed to play everything. Don't be ridiculous. The topic has been a topic for debate among fans ever since some began pushing for filmmakers to consider English actor Idris Elba as the first black Bond. Elba said in 2011 that he would definitely consider the role, and even former Sony Pictures Entertainment chairman Amy Pascal said that she thinks Idris should be the next Bond. In an email leaked last year as a result of the hack attack on Sony, the studio that produces the franchise. Kotto's opinion on the matter comes after his Live and Let Die co-star Roger Moore, who played Bond in 7 films, said casting a black man to play the iconic spy was an interesting idea but unrealistic. Moore said in an interview that landed him in hot water with the public, "I think he should be English." In an effort to distance himself from his comments, Moore tweeted, "An interview I gave to Paris Match implies I said something racist about Idris Elba. That is simply untrue. Hashtag lost in translation." Kotto, who's now 75, seems to have no problem declaring a black Bond would be silly. Kotto said, if I said I wanted to play JFK, I should be laughed out of the room. Why should James Bond be black? It's silly. I don't think that's right for black actors or writers to do roles that whites have made historically white heroic roles. These roles are not written for black men. Black men should stop trying to play white heroes. We have pens. Put a black man in a role that no one else has established. Daniel Craig will return as MI6 top agent when director Sam Mendes' Spectre hits theaters on November 6. Grammy winner Barry Manilow may have pulled off a secret wedding to longtime manager Garry Kief, a secret that is until reports Wednesday revealed the nuptials. The Copacabana singer reportedly exchanged vows with Kief at his Palm Springs home last year in a surprise commitment ceremony that was attended by 20 to 30 guests, People on Us Weekly reported. Manilow's rep Victoria Varela declined to comment on her client's personal life. The story, which first surfaced via the National Enquirer, is that the pair invited their guests to the residence for lunch and surprised them with the ceremony, People said. The singer-songwriter, who's 71, and Kief, who's 66, reportedly didn't sign any official paper for the union, but are wearing wedding bands to signify their commitment, sources said. The private star, who has never publicly discussed his sexual orientation, quote, is not in the closet in any other aspect of his life, a source told E! News. Manilow said in a 2012 interview with The Telegraph, I'm a very private guy. You can only come into my world if I invite you in. From the very beginning, that's the rule. I've learned how to deal with the publicity press thing. You just say, I'm not interested in talking about that. Even the names of my dogs. They are my kids, my friends, and my friends are my friends, and my family, they are mine. That's the only way I can survive. I have to keep that to me. I don't want strangers knowing everything. If that happens, that would drive me crazy. So congratulations to them. And finally, Bobby Flay and his wife have called it quits. The celebrity chef and Stephanie March have been separated for 3 weeks, sources confirmed to ET. The same sources confirmed that divorce is imminent for Flay, who's 50, and the Law & Order SVU actress, who's 40. Flay and March married 10 years ago on February 20th, 2005. They dated for 4 years before they were married. March is Bobby's third marriage. He was previously married to chef Deborah Ponzek and former Robin Leach Talk Food co-host Kate Conley, whom he shares a daughter, Sophie, who's 19. His most recent Instagram is with Sophie at the White House Easter egg roll. Hey, dads with young daughters, that is what 19 looks like, he captioned the cute picture. And that's your entertainment report for Thursday, April 9th, 2015. I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo. I'll be back tomorrow to wrap up the week, delivering some of the major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook or on Twitter, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo, that's RAYMELO, or on Twitter at The Enter Report. You can listen to this episode or any previous episodes of The Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio. Just search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to our page. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.